Hey, Chris McClure, Lead Life Big Coaching and Leadership Training here with you again today. Just excited to keep walking through these 7 steps for developing next generation leaders. This is such an important process, and I can't emphasize that enough to leaders because it's something that we just often overlook because of busyness, because there's just so much going on. It's really not about money for most organizations. It's about time. Time has become the greatest commodity that we have in our fast-paced, busy world. And so, one of the things we often, I think, let our guard down on is long-term investment in younger or inexperienced leaders. See, next generation leaders don't have to necessarily be young, fresh, right out of college, in their 20s or whatever. They could be just people who haven't had opportunities in the past. They could be people who are even midlife or later, but they've been doing certain roles, but they've never really had the leadership responsibility or duties of a leader in an organization. And so whatever age this person isn't really the issue. It's about experience. And so that's why this process of developing next generation leaders is so important, because regardless of age, we need to be developing people. And so what we've talked about so far up to this point is: 1, identify who they are; 2, invest in them; 3, you need to invite them into mentoring relationships; 4, we needed to give them opportunities to practice in a safe environment. And then today, on step number 5, we're going to talk about giving them responsibilities and then providing them real-time feedback. Give them responsibilities and provide real-time feedback. This is where you actually tell them this project or this task is yours. This is something for you to do on your own. You get to own this. But the difference is they don't do it just without anybody there to walk through each step of the process. You are monitoring their work, you are guiding them, you're mentoring, you're coaching them, you're giving them the insights about what they need to be doing. This might feel a little bit like micromanaging, but if you set it up right, it's not. You need to tell them that you're going to walk with them each step of the way, that they need to take action and review it with you, because you just want them to learn the best ways to get things done as they do it. And so, once again, how you frame it on the front end determines how it's received on the back end of it all. And so, give them real tasks, give them real projects to lead and take the ownership of, but then provide them with that real-time feedback so that they can realize where they're doing well, where they're doing poorly, what they could do differently. Sometimes they find different and better ways than you could have ever done. There have been instances in my life, in my leadership, where I wouldn't do it the way that a young leader has done it, but at the same time, it's effective. And so my way isn't the only way. Your way isn't the only way. But no matter how it's done, giving them feedback on what needs to happen and how it's working is really good for these next generation leaders, so that they can see, where am I excelling, where am I struggling, what are the tweaks and adjustments I need to make in order to do this well for the sake of my organization and to grow as a leader. And so I just want to really encourage you to this is the handoff piece. This is where you start to let go of the reins of some different things, and you are then giving them opportunities. See, what happens a lot of times, and just out of necessity or the feel of necessity, is we skip steps 1 through 4, and then we throw a project to somebody at step 5. And so step 5 becomes step 1. And here's what happens. There's a lot of failure. There's a lot of hard crash and burns. So that's why I want to really encourage you as a leader in developing your next generation leaders. Don't do that to them. Once again, identify who they are, invest in them, mentor them, give them that safe space to land in, that to be protected from severe damaging of the organization or their leadership, and then hand them off projects. We can't just have a sink or swim mentality all the time and expect good results. Now, some people will rise to the occasion. Some people will do very well, even when you toss it to them early on. But I think we need to be very cautious about that. That's rare and it's few and far between. And even if they can succeed once or twice, doesn't mean that it's really benefiting them long term, because they're not getting the training and the investment that they really need to be great leaders down the road. So make sure that you do steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 so that you can do step 5 where you're giving them responsibility, but also providing them this real-time feedback. Next time we'll look at step number 6, which is that you will be empowering them with authority to take action on their own. This is when they truly have the reins and you're not micromanaging them every step of the way, not giving necessarily real-time feedback about everything they're doing. So this is a big step in their development process. Chris McClure from Lead Life Big. I look forward to connecting with you next time as we look at step number 6. Take care.